finding manufacturers it can be a very fun or a very frustrating process depending on how much time you give yourself. So I would always recommend starting this process sort of early in the design while you're designing a game, but or if you already have a established relationship with a manufacturer, then that's okay. But yeah, it's when you're starting out, I would recommend going onto a site onto Alibaba.com, and then just laying out what you want for your first game. So the number of cards, what like finish they will have, an approximate size of the box. Doesn't have to be 100% accurate. It's all $4, as I've said previously. Rule books, tokens, all that kind of stuff. Just lay it all out, and then put it up both as a for people to bid on the potential contract of all the things and get all like quotes and stuff like that, and also just contact manufacturers, like type in card game manufacturers or board game manufacturers and stuff like that, and then things to look for, I would primarily recommend, is ease of communication, and sort of, they don't necessarily have to be extremely prompt, it's just they need to be good. So can you chat to them? Do they ask comprehensive questions? Are there any sort of miscommunications at the beginning? And do you just genuinely find it easy and positive to work with them in assembling the quote? Because in the end, every project is going to have things that go wrong at all different stages. And by wrong, I mean you might get a sample copy back and the color is just so dark that you can barely see what you've done. And that's fine, and that's both a thing on the design side that you need to compensate for during the manufacturing process, but it's also something that on their end, if you can be like, hey, this is a bit dark, can you please fix that up for me? If they just say no, or they're like, we're going to charge you a bunch of extra money to do another one, something like that, that is likely not going to be as productive a relationship as it could be, especially if something goes wrong with the main manufacturing run. Yeah, because I had an experience where we ordered 1,000 copies of a game, and unfortunately some of the cards were in the wrong order, and so that was on the like they were provided in the right order, and then when the print sheet was done, it was sort of out of order, and it was, there was understandable reasons why that would happen. We did technically get a sample, so could have detected it, but the style of game, it was just really hard to pick it up. But yeah, it sort of rendered the game, there needed to be a reprint. And what was nice about that situation is that there wasn't just complete stonewall denial, like it's not our fault, that's your fault for not doing it, etc., etc. It was like a bit of an understanding, communication about, well, it's sort of on both of us. And so that was good. And that happened because, I'd made something like 4 other games with that manufacturer, so they knew. So I knew that I could have that conversation with them and sort of strongly request that situation be resolved in more of a kind of in a collaborative way, rather than just being told, well, as a client you messed up and so it's your fault to fix it, kind of thing. And yeah, so that's important, I think. So finding somebody you can communicate easily with on Alibaba is a good idea. There are also, however, companies that will do a more like sort of professional service, in the sense that they have people based in your country and have like call centers and like a really refined online platform and stuff like that, which of course is going to be more expensive. But that can be really good, especially if you have the resources to do it, to just make sure the process is as seamless as possible. So I'm talking about companies like Print Ninja or Wingo, or there was another one. I'll put it in the notes for this node, but it can be worth getting a quote from them. Just bear in mind that that quote will likely be double the price of what else you're looking for, and the minimum print order might not be around 500, it might be 1,000. And so depending on how many of these games you've made and what your goal is for the first run and stuff like that, it might not be the best route to go. But again, it's one of those things where your unique circumstances will determine which route that you go down, most likely. So yeah, there's a very quick run through of some of the options. I will say, do not manufacture through a place that is extremely affordable to do individual copies, because their prices on their bulk copies is most likely, let me know if you find someone else, but is most likely not going to be the best price. And sometimes I think creators go, well, I had a good experience working with this very affordable prototyping suited one, so I'm going to just increase that by 1,000, that order that I made. And yeah, that's most likely not going to be the most affordable option for you. Again, depending on the circumstances. So thank you very much. Questions and comments, please. I really want to know. Put them down in the comment section. And yeah, as ever, good luck.